Hello, I'm Chris, this is Gross Models. Welcome to issue 4, that's month 4, but stage 7 of Build the Ghostbusters Ecto-1. This is, as I say, the 4th delivery, so it's free gift delivery time. Look, huge metal license plate that's very, 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 very flimsy, but it's fine, that will go in the background somewhere, so yeah. That's quite nice. It's all right. It's not expertly printed or anything, but it does the job. It looks very nice. So I shall be putting that in the background at some point. In this stage, we are building a thing. Let's have a look. Stage 7 parts. We have parts for the right-hand side and middle parts of the engine to add to the left-hand side parts that you received in the previous issue. Yes, the previous issue I have here with the bits that have already been built up. I recognise a bit that looks like that from the other side as well. So yes, that will be used to add to now. In this pack I've also got stage 8, 9 and 10, which is all engine work. It all looks very lovely, and yeah, it's going to be quite a substantial engine in this one. I mean, it's a big car, so it needs a big engine. So yes, so with this, we're fitting more engine bits. We're starting off without any extra old stuff, but that will come to light very shortly. So let's clear the decks. I'll get all of these out of here. Having a look through to make sure I've got all the parts. There's bags of screws. There wasn't any BP screws in here, which apparently you need one. So I have found one in my box of stuff. So yeah, always worth keeping the spare screws, because you never know, unless they're tucked away underneath any of these and I just haven't seen it. There seems to be a single screw missing, or 2 screws. It says there were 2 of them, and obviously I had 0 of them. So yeah, I'm going to use a pair of tweezers to get the tiny piece out, because it's too small to pick up, too deep into the plastic. I don't recognise any of these parts. Mostly metal, a couple of plastic parts in there as well. Yeah, no screws in there at all. So for some reason I seem to have been stiffed by a single BP screw, but I have a back catalogue of them. Right, so let's have a look. We're assembling the timing belt cover and cooling system. Place the timing belt cover connector on the back of the timing belt cover. It gives you the letters and numbers and things, but they're on a different page, so I'm going by the look of things. It looks like that and that. Nothing else looks quite like those, so we're going with those. And some EM screws. 2 of which for that, and then 2 more in a moment, so I might as well get the 4 of those out. Like that. Your screwdriver that I'm using at the moment. So this has a direction to go, which is again not overly apparent on the picture, but it looks like it's probably that way round. So let's try that and see. If I'm putting that there, that way round. Oh, come on. Is it going to be one of those days? It's going to be one of those filming days where nothing goes quite right. Get that in there a little bit, just to locate it in place, then get the other side linked down as well. Can't actually see. Alright, this is then going to be attached to that. So if that's going that way up, let's have a quick look and see. That's that way round, so that's going like that. That make that the right way round, or would that make that the wrong way round? No, it's the right way round, because there's a little notch on there that goes into the little hole on there. There we go. So that is the correct way round eventually when I get to it. So let's tighten those down. That then we need this big part here, which is plastic, but that's okay. That is going onto the back there, just like that. Now, although as it says this is plastic and the first part there was metal. Yeah, I need AP screws, not those. So I put the EMs back over there. I was going to say we're going into plastic now, so obviously we need a different type of screw. We use these that should be AP. Yep, let's get 2 of those in there. Yes, although there is a combination of plastic and metallic parts, the colour match is actually very good. You won't get the same shine. Obviously the metal is shinier than the plastic, but the colours look virtually the same. I don't know that you would know the difference once it's assembled. And that's the same as last time, because this is plastic and this is metal, so it does blend in exceptionally well. Those 2 in there. Then I'm going to need a DM screw to attach this to that. Through there, the bit that I've just attached onto there. Through there, into there. Get it in, make sure it attaches where it should be. And I can tighten it down. Quite secure. Extra little turn just to make sure. No, that's still got a bit of wobble to it. Let's go even tighter than that. It's not going any tighter than that, and that is locked in place, as is that. I'm still getting a little bit of movement down here. I did tighten that up last time, but I may have to come back and tighten that some more. But it's probably going to be perfectly all right. It's only a little bit of movement, so I think I'm going to be okay. Right, I don't need that for now. I'm moving on to building the top of the engine block. So I need a bit that looks like that. That's going that way round. We need this. This is the distributor cap. I recognise that. That goes in there and is held in place by an AP screw. These, wasn't it? Yep. Get one of those out. That's going through the bottom there and coming into there, which does have a little keyhole locating piece, so you get it the right way round. Lightning down, and there we go. That's that. Nice. Figure C, we're using that and the little bit that I had trouble getting out, and that's being held in place with a BP screw. That's where the BP screw comes into place. That's the shorter version. I did just have one of those sitting in a bag, so that's convenient. So again, that also has a little key in point, so it has to point in that direction, and that is just on there. Nice. Right, so that's that. Then that goes on to there with that pointing in the same area. Like that, and that's AP screws again, which are these ones. The ones they've given us lots of, because we're going to be using quite a few. As ever, I do have the magazine to look through at some point in these 4 episodes, but I don't know which one's going to be the shortest yet. This one seems fairly involved. There's quite a lot of parts involved. So what I am going to do is basically guess at which one I think is going to be the shortest and do the video up front, rather than having to sort it in randomly. If it turns out that it isn't the shortest and there is a shorter one, then that's just the way it goes. But there we have that in there. Then we need that bit goes over the top. Lots of stuff that's sort of hidden details, but not terribly hidden. Will that go either way? Let's got that way around now. And I can't really tell from the picture. Let's try it and see. We've got 4 corners do line up that way round, and they don't line up that way round. So yes, they are different sizes. So that needs to go over there like that, and more AP screws to hold that in place. 1, 2, 3, and 4 of those. Of course, when you're putting in more than one screw, get them all in first. Make sure everything lines up before you tighten down the first one. Very easy to get it a little bit off. You might get the first and the second one, maybe even the third one in. But if it's not lined up quite right, you won't be able to get the fourth one lined up right, and then you'll have to go back and loosen them all off. And it's just a pain. Don't have pains when you don't need them. One, that one. Going back and tightening them up, making sure they're nice and secure. And there we have the end of step two. I'll call it step 2 because it's stage 7, but step 2. Right, so that is again putting off to one side for a moment. We get that bit and that bit. I don't know what they're called, so I'm not going to bother trying to name them things. EP screws for those. I don't know if it would be possible to make the screws more universal, is the word that I'm looking for there. There's not much difference between a lot of these screws. I mean, obviously the metal and the plastic ones, yes. There's big differences between those. The threads are different. The threads on the metal tightening screws are shallower. They're closer together. Because that's the way it needs to be. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But is there really that much difference between the AP and the EP? EP is a little bit shorter, but I'm sure they could have designed it to make, you know, a little bit between the two of them and make it work. So that's that there. I do need another AP to attach that to what we were just working on. Whereabouts? On this side of it, it goes into the bottom there, another bit that's keyed in place. Needs to go in there. And as I say, AP holding those together. So far, so good. Located, so that can tighten down. There we have that. Now we've got to fit this to that. And the oil sump and engine block top. No, not this to that. That's this. This is the bit that goes at the bottom that connects all the oil together with EM screws. That's the 2 EM screws that I already got out that I shall now use. To attach this that way round, obviously 2 screw holes, 2 screws. Now this build, unlike the Dodge Charger build that I'm doing, I am going to be doing some weathering too. So once the engine is complete, I will be applying some love, or anti-love really, to make it look a little bit older and worn and used, because it was basically. Obviously at some point it was a new car, but that's not the point in the story that the Ghostbusters had it. So it does need a little bit of attention to make it fit the universe better, in my opinion, anyway. And my opinion is the only one that matters in this build, because it's my build. Right, that is going onto there, and we're using some EM screws to hold that in place. I only have 1 EM screw remaining. Did I use an EM when I should have used something else? Got lots of DM. It does say EM there. Let me just check back. That was AP, that was EP. Doesn't look like I would have used those for anything else. Let's just check back and see how many it said I should have had. Oh, you know what? BP screws have just fallen out of the magazine. Apologies, Ecomos, Hero Collector. You did supply me the right things. Although, did you supply me the right number of EM screws? You gave me 4. And EM down here, it says 4 plus 1 spare. So there's one there. Does that mean I've used 4 already? EP in there. Definitely used EP in there. AP, BP. I don't remember. I shall go back and watch the video and see where I made a mistake. But before I do that, I'm going to be using the DMs on that bit. I shall find another EM screw, because everything seemed to go together quite well. I'm not unhappy with how that's gone together. So I shall find another EM screw and return momentarily. Yep, I had a bag with 2 in it, so I've used those and put the spare 1 away for later. That was that. Where was I? I was putting that in place. That was EM. Oh, no, it's not showing using any screws on that. Oh, right, okay. I'm jumping ahead. I was assuming that I was putting the screws in there when I wasn't. So, yeah, I won't need to worry about that. I've put those back away. Again, apologies to Eagle Moss for doubting you. I should learn that you know what you're doing and don't doubt you. So that's that. This then gets attached to there with the DM screws. 2 of those, leaving 1 spare. So we have a couple of spare APs, the EM, a couple of them, and EP. That's all right. Everything is working as intended. So this is going on here. I remember doing this on the other side. These seemed like very long screws for what it's going into, but it works, and it sort of attaches up to the other side, so good. That one goes in there. And once that's done, that is the end of this part of the build. We're not putting the other parts together quite yet. That's quite tight as well. I shall progress to a slightly heavier screwdriver, although the handle isn't nearly as nice. There we go. So that's that in there. That's the other part that we're not using yet. As it says, the stage 7 build is complete to that area. Yeah, that's why we're not putting screws on there, because that's going on there and the screws go in from the outside. So let's have a quick look. That goes that way up. So that's going to go that way up. I think. There, like that. That would make that black bracket fit downwards in that direction as well. So yeah, that's going to go in there like that, somehow. And that's then going to go on the other side to where that one is, wherever that is. So yeah, that will be next time, I'm sure. If not the next time, then very soon after that. So thank you very much for joining me for stage 7 of this build. I shall see you very shortly for stage 8. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye for now.